Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. William Samoei Arap Ruto today suffered one of the biggest political setbacks as far as Luhya politics is concerned. Boni Khalwale officially joined Edwin Sifuna and Natembea. The two, that is Edwin Sifuna and Natembea, are clearly on a mission. And their mission is predictable: to lock William Ruto out of Luhya nation. But there's a question I also want to ask you. Do you think William Ruto can win the presidency without Mount Kenya and without the Luhya nation? Because Mount Kenya is gone from the grip of William Ruto, and Edwin Sifuna and Natembea alongside Otsosi are also persuading the Luhya nation to move away from William Ruto. Can William Ruto win the presidency without the Luhya nation? If you know how he can do it, please let me know in the comment section. In this video, I want us to discuss why today's event is actually one of the biggest political blows which William Ruto has received recently. Before we get into all those, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two facts which we can't run away from. The first fact is that in 2022, Boni Khalwale became one of the biggest political players, big names from the Luhya nation, to risk and join William Ruto. As a matter of fact, it is Boni Khalwale who introduced William Ruto to Luhya nation, because the Luhya nation were majorly either ODM, Musalia Mudavadi, or Moses Masika Wetangula. All those three guys were in NASA by that time. But Boni Khalwale risked that. The truth is, most people credit William Ruto's victory to Moses Masika Wetangula. Wetangula joined William Ruto very late. So the move by Boni Khalwale is significant. The other fact which we can't run away from is the fact that William Ruto was banking on the support of the Luhya nation, especially after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. So I want us to look at why the move today is a major blow to William Ruto. Number one, and I'm 100% sure that William Ruto is also thinking the same, that there could be someone somewhere who is crafting a strategy on how to defeat William Ruto. And that strategy is simple: lock William Ruto from Raila Odinga traditional support basis. That's why in Kisii, which has traditionally voted for Raila Odinga, William Ruto is no longer there. That's why if you go to Ukambani, William Ruto is no longer there. It's with Kalonzo Musyoka. That's why when you go to the mountain today, William Ruto is no longer there. It's either Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And now we are seeing the same trend happening in the Luhya nation. The Luhya nation was a bit complex for this guy to crack. But I think he has found a formula. Because let us look at the people who met today. Sifuna is now the overall, trying to consolidate the Luhya nation. Natembea is supposed to lock the Bungoma, Trans Nzoia area, those sides. Then now Boni Khalwale is coming. To do what? To deal with Kakamega. Because Kakamega was a bit complex. The ODM presence was still there because of Oparanya and because of the Governor Baraza. But now Boni Khalwale is coming. And I hope he's going to run for the gubernatorial seat. Remember, apart from Boni Khalwale, there is also the element of Cleophas Malala there. So they are finding a formula of dealing with Kakamega. If you go to Busia, which is traditional Raila base, they're also doing something. They also have a member of parliament who also attended this meeting. So which means someone somewhere is trying to lock William Ruto from key regions. If not key regions, then the clan-based locking out. And if William Ruto is not careful, this is going to work. So that's number one. William Ruto should be worried about whether someone is working behind the scenes to try and lock him from Raila Odinga traditional basis. Number two, and this is something which I know is giving Ruto headache, the Luhya unity. For a very long time, there has always been this elusive Luhya unity. And the man behind it has always been none other than Francis Atwoli, Ndugu Francis Atwoli. Muhungu 1 happened, Mukungu 2 happened. You know what happened in Mukungu 1? That's what forced Mudavadi and Weta to drop their bids. Then Mukungu 2 also happened. Then Atwoli has been planning Mukungu 3. Before he could execute that, we are seeing these moves. Because William Ruto had hoped that Atwoli was going to help him create that Luhya unity in the name of perceptionally aligning to the government. But these guys are now coming, and strategically they are uniting the Luhyas. Because if you look at the presence of Ososi, also you can talk of the Maragolis. But now strategically, why is this a problem to Ruto if these guys were to manage to bring the Luhya nation together? They can easily negotiate with anyone. Sifuna and this group can now bypass Weta and Mudavadi and negotiate even with Ruto himself, which means they can place unimaginable demands. But that's not their plan. They can go and negotiate with Kalonzo Musyoka. They can go and negotiate with Matiang'i, this group. They can go and negotiate with even Rigathi Gachagua. That is the problem William Ruto is facing. Because William Ruto would have wanted a situation where the leaders of the Luhya nation are people he can control. So that if he were to negotiate with them, he's negotiating with them from that strength, that he's the guy engineering those talks. And again, these guys might actually decide to pick one of them to run for the presidency, Edwin Sifuna. And if anybody from the Luhya nation were to declare his presidential bid today, and let's say they agree on Sifuna, that's going to be very dangerous politics for William Ruto. And because of that, William Ruto is not at peace. The Luhya unity can lock it, because William Ruto would want a situation where, for example, and this is something which anybody knows, that William Ruto would not want a situation where from each and every community there's a kingpin. William Ruto is totally anti-kingpin. And that's why he wanted Weta to fold his party. He wanted Mudavadi. Of course, Mudavadi folded his party. He would have wanted a situation where his party, UDA, is the main party. Then these other guys are now operating under UDA. So these guys now, they can produce a presidential candidate. Ruto cannot now dictate to them. Number 3, there is this runoff headache. Because there's a general consensus in the Republic of Kenya today that 2027 is going to be very tough. And there's also the chance that we might have 3 or 4 strong candidates. For example, Ruto will run, Kalonzo will be on the ballot, Sifuna might be on the ballot, and of course, Rigathi Gachagua might not be on the ballot. So if all these guys were to be on the ballot, none of them will secure around 1 victory. What would that mean? It would mean simple thing: runoff. Now, if you're not controlling the Luhya politics, and then we go for a runoff, then someone says, Sifuna, come. This is the offer we are giving you. You see, William Ruto will not have a say in that. So that is another biggest challenge he's facing as a result of now this consolidated support, which Sifuna, Natembea are spearheading together with Otsosi, now Boni Khalwale coming into the picture. Because let's assume we go into the election, first round, Boni Khalwale becomes the governor for Kakamega. Sifuna, maybe number 2 or number 3. So you see how William Ruto is facing a serious political headache. Number 4 is game of numbers. The other day, I listened to William Ruto himself. And he was like over 1.5 million people from the Mulembe nation have IDs, but they are not registered as voters. In the Luhya nation, that was also the same story. Any newcomer to Jerusalem would ask why, but those who are here will understand that during the previous registration of voters, these people, their numbers were always suppressed. It was very difficult for people to even register. So most of the young people were never even bothering, because you go to register today, unaenda huko, kids are not working, you are told to come tomorrow. Tomorrow you go there, they are not there. Or unafika hapa, you are told to come this place, unafika hapo, unaambiwa so sijui they were supposed to go which place. So this game of numbers is worrying Ruto based on the actual votes, because the Luhya nation has lots of numbers. William Ruto is losing the mountain and expected the Luhya nation to cancel that. Apart from that, if Sifuna, Otsosi, Natembea, now Boni Khalwale managed to consolidate the Luhya nation under one party, it means even the parliamentary strength, they'll have elected MPs, they'll have elected governors, elected senators, and that's a very big problem for William Ruto in terms of numbers. Because if Ruto is losing several MPs from the mountain and it's not recovering in Western, what does that mean? And of course, lastly, and this is something I keep on repeating and I will never tire, politics is a perceptional game. The perception outside there, and this is something which Sifuna is creating, is that he's busy consolidating the Luhya nation. He's busy locking William Ruto, he's busy locking UDA from the Luhya nation. And he began with meeting the elders. You remember the meeting Sifuna also held with elders, Luhya elders. I did an analysis about that. I can pin the comment there. From that meeting, now they've been reaching out to MPs. From nowhere, we saw Sifuna Otsosi meeting with Natembea, because Natembea was a bit problematic. Now again, we are seeing them with Boni Khalwale. So it's strategic. So perceptionally, people are now seeing this movement, as far as Luhya politics is concerned, to be very serious. And those who are still sitting on the fence are likely to join the movement. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.